What's up, you guys? Got a 30-minuter on the board. This is a rated game against somebody 11-14. And so it's a 115 for me. So I'm going to give this all my attention. Okay, we've got the bishop's opening, so I'm going to play the Calabrese. I have a good record with this, I do believe. Now, the key thing is, if they take, you can't go straight for d5, as tempting as it is, thinking, oh, I've got tempo on the bishop, because of this move. This move is just too strong. So you have to play knight f6 first. Some of these openings, queen f6 is actually a move, but now I can play d5. This does two things. Defend it twice, it hits the bishop, so the bishop's going to have to come here or here. Okay, so this move comes with tempo, and I also open up this diagonal for my light square bishop to recapture the lost pawn. And the balance is restored to the force. Now, c6 looks like a no-brainer, because not only am I hitting the bishop again with tempo, giving it only one square to go to, but I'm also blocking off this diagonal towards the king and opening up this diagonal for my queen. So, candidate moves here. Take the pawn back. Ain't no rush to do that. It's okay. Bishop out here is the thought, targeting the f-pawn. I can then drop my queen here as well. And if this bishop ever comes out, my queen will also be looking at b2. That's also a thing. Now, if I come out here, what's he going to do? Could bring his knight out, preparing to castle. That's a thought. Then that would be too slow to bring the queen out, because he just castles and waste the time. Let's just grab the bishop, the spare pawn then, eh? Grab the spare pawn. This bishop is now in a better position because it's now looking at, I mean, yeah, there's junk in the way here, but right here, my own pawn was in the way. At least this pawn I'm theoretically targeting. Okay, he's developed his queen's bishop now, pinning my knight. I'm inclined to do this because there is a trick, isn't there? There is the old trick of takes, if king takes, but then my knight can't go to here or here with check because pawn takes here and queen takes there, so that doesn't work. That's the consideration. You have to be able to put a bishop looking at the f-pawn. You've got your opponent's bishop pinning your knight against your queen. But the third factor is, excuse me, I just had chili with my eggs on toast. You have to be able to move your knight and give check without the knight being captured, and that's not possible here because of the d-pawn. So, that's not on. Now, I could just put my bishop here. My knight is pinned, which is a slight annoyance, but it's not like he can attack this piece again with a pawn or anything like that. So it's not a major annoyance, it's just a slight annoyance. So I don't have to go and break the pin. I think a lot of people would just instinctively resolve that bit of tension. I could put my bishop here. Or I could put my queen straight here. If he wants to take this, I recapture with the g-pawn. I kind of like that move. So it comes with two ideas. One is I'm eyeing down f2. The other one is I'm immediately threatening b2. And if b2, he's got no bishop to put on this square, right, to make a triangular defense and tie everything together. So if I get to take b2, I'm threatening the rook. How does he save the rook? He has to move the knight out, but wherever he moves the knight, my queen can take it from b2. Yeah, you see, so I've just made him do something he didn't want to do. Yeah? Now how about this idea? This comes with check. It is a fork, but he has knight c3. But then I have d4. Yeah? So I'm just, like, I didn't see that on the board. I had to find it. So this is a check. I'm noting the fact that this bishop is offside and undefended. So I'm attacking the king, is in check. He has to get out of check on the next turn. If he blocks with a queen, I just take the bishop. If he blocks with a pawn, I just take the bishop. If he blocks with a knight, okay, then the knight has pinned itself here, and then I can push d4. So I think that's the way to go. So some of you might be sitting there going, you know, people don't play this badly against me. It's the thing I get a lot of the time. But I have the same feeling when I watch like Naroditsky in his speedruns. So I just saw a game that he played when he played the Smith Morrow. It's his most recent video. I think it's, you know, out in the last few hours, right? Played the Smith Morrow, and he dismantled his opponent in like 13 moves. Literally just beat him. And this was a 2000 rated player who is a Sicilian player who ought to know the Smith Morrow Gambit pretty well. Anywho, so he's flinched here. He's taken my knight. I think I just need to recapture with this. I mean, there's no much point. Nah, just recapture. Yeah, his knight's still pinned. That's my knight. It's not going anywhere. Now he could counterattack the queen. Which would be probably his best move. I can then drop back. If he does it again, I'll just drop back here, and then I'm maybe targeting this. I don't know. Yeah, I think a3 was the better move there. Okay, so I'm going to take here. I'm now threatening that. I'm now threatening this with a fork on that and that. Okay. Similar situation now. All right, the bishop can go there. Now then. And this is one of those positions where you have to kind of take stock. Okay. Now, I've got ideas like this. I could try and attack the knight again, but it's just too slow. You know, one move and the bishop gets out. Bishop's going to come to here. So, what do we want to do? Well, let's think about getting the king safe, maybe. Situation is, I have the bishop pair. And a knight. He has one bishop and a knight. So I'm the only one on the block with a dark squared bishop right now. Excuse me, this is Mr. Vicky's King Reaper pickle that is on my... we're not just talking chili relish here. Right? I'm not talking sweet chili sauce. Mr. Vicky's King Reaper. This is made with the Carolina Reaper, the hottest chili in the world. Okay, this is another idea. Knight round to here, or even knight round to here. Knight here defends all of these pawns as well. Developing this bishop, I don't know. I'd like to encourage him to castle there, because my rook's going to go to g8. So I'm thinking let's bring the knight out here. This looks flexible. Just scanning now for moves. Yeah, I can't see anything evil. Here, just tuck my king away in the corner. And yeah, okay, you can do that. Now I've got a couple of ideas. I mean, this maintains the pin, but that's just a bit foolish. I want to castle my king here, so I don't actually want to prompt him to start throwing these pawns up the queen side. No, he's not. No point. If I put my queen here, I mean, this, I'm also very tempted because that also comes with tempo. Yeah. So part of me is thinking, if I put my queen here, is that going to de-encourage him? I know it's not a real word. Discourage him from castling. Because if he castles, then rook g8, and I'm threatening mate. I don't know, but it looks evil though, doesn't it? Looks evil. Also, from that, my queen has got a great vantage point of the whole board. Right? This knight, by the way, still has to maintain and defend that bishop because he's not moved his bishop yet. So, queen here looks interesting. The other idea is to move my queen back somewhere. And I mean, this is a thought, but I don't know. No, I'm going to put my queen here. I like this move. Yeah, chili's an interesting drug. You do get used to it, and you kind of... I do feel like it's a bit of a mental stimulant. Particularly in combination with hot lava coffee. I haven't had a drink for 12 days now. Oh, he's moved his rook. Yeah, no alcohol for 12 days. Other than my pine pollen tincture, which is only taken in very small amounts. Okay, that doesn't work. Queen's looking. This is a thought. Bring the bishop out. I'm just inclined, though, to castle. I like the fact his king's there. He's going to want to move his queen out somewhere so that he can castle long, right? Now, where's his queen going to go? She can't go there, she can't go there, she can't go there. So that leaves 2 squares. Can anything be done about this? This is also a thought. This idea. We talked about this in one of our live sessions recently. Bringing up the rook's pawn so that you can tuck the bishop behind the pawn, defended by the rook. And that, friends, is the square where Kingy wants to go. So I like this move. One thing to check. I'm cutting off my light squares if I do that. Does my queen have a retreat? Yes. Okay, this is fine. Let's do it. We're up in material. I'm up a bishop for a pawn right now. And pawns schwans. Yeah, okay, so he's coming after the queen, huh? Right. Queen here is a thought. Still looking at f2 pawn. Queen here I don't like. I don't want to trade and mess up my pawns. That's out, that's out. This, you push, take, this pins pawn. I want to do this next, for sure, because that's going to leave the queen looking at there. Now, can I be looking at that square? No. So, no, 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 maybe, no, and no, and maybe. Or back, or we retreat backwards. This is a thought as well, you know, ideas of takey, takey, takey. Removing 2 decent pawns, that's 1 centre pawn and 1 wing pawn, in return for a bishop. But then it feels like that queen's a bit blunted there, so... This square we looked at also pins this pawn, you see, because I could take that rook. So let's have a look at that then. Let's have a go at that. Sanity check. This is important. Okay, he can attack with the knight, but that loses the bishop. So he can't. He goes here, I take knight or I take bishop. Happy days are here again. Now, I'm up in material, so quite frankly, trading off only really helps me. Takey, takey. Then the king still wants to castle, but it's a takey, takey. And then if I put my bishop here, he's got a pawn on there, so he can go ahead and castle. And that allows him to bring this rook into the game. And that, I don't think we want to do that, do we, Precious? So, now I can't go here or here. I could just drop back here. I drop back here, right? If he goes ahead and castles, I've got this, haven't I? But then he can block, but then I take. Right, that's it, sold. Sold. He can't castle now, because I have bishop h6, what I set up earlier, with a pin on queen and king. And there's only one thing to be done, which is a temporary block, but it doesn't matter because I've got a pawn here, defends the bishop, I take the pawn, and still win. Big bada boom, I do believe. Too little, mate, too late. Yeah, that was in biblical, mate. That was biblical. You walk right into that. And this pawn moving should be a bit of a clue. But it's like, it's just pattern recognition, isn't it? It's what you get used to. So this pawn's been there for a little while. Why did that pawn go there? Why did that pawn go there? Okay, so Now you lose your queen. Good night, Queenie. Okay, well, it's not over yet. I think we should castle, if only for the reason of engaging this rook that's currently sitting there snoozing. Got little Z's coming at the top of it. Knight's no threat, da da da. Okay. I'm in a happy position now. I'm inclined just to trade down. I'm up basically a full queen. I am up exactly a full queen. That is the material point. Line from Pride and Prejudice. With such low connections, she can have very little chance of marrying well, Bingley. That is the material point. Okay, it attacks my queen. That's not a bad move, actually. That is a really decent move. Now, my queen can come back here and still defend the bishop. This is the point. I did this move thinking I'm taking the initiative. I'm going to force an exchange of bishops or force him to go back there where he didn't want to go. Okay, and then I own this diagonal. But then what I failed to realise was he could up the ante with this move. So now we drop back. Okay. And if I take, he can go, no he can't, I'll just take him. Take him with that, take him with that. And his disadvantage grows with each trade. I'm very tempted just to push f5 now. I'm also thinking maybe it might be nice to move the knight and just open up this rook. f5, where's he going to go? This is the question. He can go here. He can go here and hit my queen. So let's not do that. Let's play this move. Let's play this and just poke, have a tickle at that pawn. I'm up an entire queen. I could trade my queen for a rook now and still win with relative ease. Said I could. Don't make a lot of sense. Alright, I kind of want to trade off the knight. I think maybe should I put my knight here? See, now with my rook here, I can push this pawn and knight can't go there. Can't go there, can't go there, can't go there, can't go there. He's going to have to go backwards. The retreat of the horse. Then I've got this. Then I've got this even. Attacking this, because this is technically pinned. It's a pinned pawn. Because he can't take me on here, because rook takes rook and checkmate in 2, depending on where the knight goes. Okay, so I'm going to just go, yeah. Now, if I do this, yeah, the rook has to move, but I've created an owl, what do you call an owl? So I'm going to move my knight here first and plug the owl. You see, now his knight can't move forwards at all, there. So I've only got one move, which is there. You see, this knight has now become very weak, and you see all his stuff now is on the first 3 ranks. He's getting choked out now. Right, do we have any winning ideas? Not any sacrificial plans there. Got queen here, maybe rook takes on g2. It's a thought. It's a thought. Also gets the queen out of line with this rook, so that's not a bad thing, because I may have a lapse of concentration. But this really should be a walk in the park at this point. I think the key thing now is just throw these pawns at my opponent and cause as much mayhem as I can. Pushy, something's coming off the board. That's all I need to know. And I know that when stuff comes off the board, it benefits me, because I'm the last man standing with my lady by my side. Okay, stuff comes off the board. This is fine. Pawn can take. I've given back a pawn, have I? No, I haven't. Push. We're just trading pawns. Okay, here's trade pawns. Excuse me now. Now I'm inclined to take here. Now the knight's no longer defending. The knight's kind of in a pin because this is just favourable for me. So takes, 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 and we've just opened up. I'm getting 2 pawns for a knight, which when you're as rich in material as I am, is fine. And this comes to check. So he can't block the check, so he's only got 3 legal moves. I might just even just push Eddie and Freddy up. The Eddie Freddy show. He can't even put his rook there, because takes, takes, takes. I get 2 rooks for a queen. He has this, if he wants it. Doesn't it bother me? Just drop back and hit the knight. Oh. I feel like it's woes. Okay, this is a no-brainer, right? I just trade my queen for 2 rooks. And now it's 2 rooks against 1 knight. And that, boys and girls, doesn't work. Don't care what planet you come from. Okay. If he takes, I simply take. Then I come to here, and then he can't stop me. He has to go 1, 2, but it only takes me 1 step to get a queen, and it's all over. Should we? Are you going to see it through, though, mate? Okay. Okay. Quickest way to win is to allow you to do this. Have the rook. I don't care. You have the rook. I have a queen. I might come back here unless you spot that, and I win the knight. But also, queen here. Is it not mate anyway? It is almost, isn't it? Queen here, check. The only move he's got is that. Yeah. And then I think queen there is mate. He's effectively back ranked. It's a ladder mate, but using his own 2 pawns as a barrier. So there's only 1 legal move now. Because he can't go here, because the rook can't go here, he's still in check as well. He has to push the pawn, then I do that. And mate. Well done, good game though. Let's go back to the start and see where did his woes begin. So the Calabrese Countergambit. I'm going to switch evaluation off, it's not working anyway. Right. If you're a bishop's opening player, you should probably have a look at this. Now he accepts. You can see here, if I'd have done this attacking his bishop, he's got queen g5, queen h5 check, right? If I block, he takes. Even if I take the bishop, he pushes the pawn with a discovered check, attacking both my rook and my bishop, you see, so that would be perfectly ghastly. So we develop the knight, we're really taking our time to recover this, and we're going to do this when the time is right. The other thing about this move is, like sometimes in some of these openings they'll play like queen e2, if they've got a knight here, and you've hit it, right? If they play queen e2, you play queen e7, now your queen is not protecting the d5 pawn. So that's another good reason to bring a knight out here, so that you can push d5, like in the Rousseau Gambit, yeah? If your queen comes away from the d file, you have to bring your knight out first before you can push d5, just worth bearing in mind. This is a little... it's a move. But now I get this, now I get the tempo, and you see, this is where his bishop ends up really offside. I think maybe that would be a better move. I think I see that more often. c6, and now you see this bishop that was supposed to be this great attacking, pain in the arse for black, is now a massive liability. I mean, I have this immediately, but again, knight out. But then, actually, yeah, it was even on from move 7. So here, on move 6. So I develop, because my bishop's got no future trying to go this way through this side of the board in any way. So my bishop belongs outside of this pawn chain, somehow exerting influence that way. He pins. I come out here poking at b2. Hadn't noticed this fork yet. He does this. Now I see a fork. I could have also gone to a5 as well, I realise now. He does the only move and falls to this, right? So, and that's where it all began, really. You know, he's so being faced with going down a minor piece, he decides to trade off another minor piece, and I don't really approve of that idea. Leaving me with a central pawn majority as well, 2-on-1 here. There's nothing you can do to save the knight, and now I just. So this again, you see, this is a jab that he has to block, right? So now he has to do something, and now he loses castling rights on that side of the board. And now this is a key move. I'm really proud of this move. Realising that he's going to want to get his king safe, and he can't go that way because he's moved his rook already. So he's going to have to go this way. Right, well, how can we stop him? How can we frustrate our opponent's ideas? And this is something that becomes a greater part of your game as you progress. How can I frustrate my opponent, not just try and carry out my plans? Well, this is my idea. Bishop h6, and we'll see the power of that bishop. He tries to trade queens. I'm not interested in trading queens. Now he does this, okay, because he's only looking at the first four ranks. Right, he's failed to say, well, what's the point of this move? And was it that clever? Not really. Not really. There, what he should have done here is capture the bishop, I think, because now he just gives me a pawn, right? Yeah, now he gets the bishop. But from that point on, he's dead lost, absolutely dead lost. But what I'm interested in is how this bishop got to be so offside. Was it this move? Was this just weakening? Because one of the problems here is he's blocked off the bishop's retreat that away. So maybe d3 was a mistake. And now that is one bad bishop. Yeah? So I suspect it was that move. Very early move, right? Move 4 that contributed to his sufferings. Interesting stuff. Okay, not going to look at the computer analysis on this. I think that was useful. I think it's much more useful for you to do the lifting yourself to try and figure out what went wrong with that game. You know, even if it's on your opponent's side, what went wrong? Why was that game lost? Because games are more often lost than won. Okay, so there you go. Enjoyable game. I enjoyed it. Hope you did too. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon.